Yes,
Yes.
It's pretty good.
it is pretty good.
I cleaned up my room quite a bit today, so I'm feeling nice.
That is good. I have soup.
I had spicy. I had like seasoned restaurant fries. Those are pretty good.
I tossed a scorpion pepper into this soup. It's spicy.
Nice.
No.
I had Tostino's pizzas with banana peppers put on top of them.
Ooh, that sounds good, actually.
It makes them better,
Anything that
but
makes
mostly
cheap
just because
pizza...
banana peppers.
Yeah, I was about to say, anything that makes cheap pizza taste better is good.
To be fair, Tostino's pizzas already just kind of taste good.
But
They're
they
like,
could
what
be...
if school pizza was good?
But what if better than good?
You know, I like when Google asks me, "Hey, do you know this place?" And it's my work. Like, no.
No, don't know it. Couldn't be there.
I have no idea what this is.
Stay out of my head, Google.
I'm
You
tracking my
assume-
movements, Google.
You assume that will stop them.
I'm gonna put a Faraday cage around my brain.
You assume they're stopped by things that stop electrical impulse.
Obviously, because of the brainstem, it would still work, but I do legitimately wonder if you could have like a Faraday cage put around your brain. If that would like mess with your body.
Potentially.
Because obviously we'd still have like the out holes, like obviously your brainstem, like your eye sockets, all that sort of stuff. But if your skull was just a Faraday cage, I wonder what that would do to your body.
Well, we could discuss that probably after session.
Well, I'm waiting for leak bombs to be done. Anyways,
Yeah,
introduce yourself.
I'm getting
Yeah.
finished. Where is this?
Hi, my name is Andy, and
You weren't here last week. I hope you watched the VOD.
I did it! Because I'm going in blind like Kitterwood.
She was present during the entire thing.
Well, most of it.
Not mentally present, but physically present.
Yeah, physically present she was. Mentally, no.
Still saw everything that happened.
She did.
Ha! There's the self-promo channel on
Viscous.
this one.
Viscous.
Basically.
The next one.
I am useless. Next person.
Say
You
your
are not
name.
useless.
I'm the magic man with no magic.
This party
your-
is consistent of many magic men.
That's the character who is the player.
I am me.
Okay then. Belzy. Or Danny, if you're not done, or if you're done link
Oh,
bombing,
I'm done link bombing.
then you.
Hello, I am the Danny Boop. I do the strumming. I am probably going to be very much in character this session. Because
A lot happened. Belzy.
I am Fail Trolls. I play the Failsy, and things getting shitty weird.
It's time to commit crime.
I am Mythosia. And Brimstone is tired of seeing this masked motherfucker. Especially now since he's not as funny. And he's just a dickhead.
You know, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good reason. Well, just as a quick reminder, The party last time met with a very strange ending to their night, where this figure appeared before them all, and I hope that popped up correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did on my end at least.
It's on stream.
Alrighty then. This figure arrived before them, speaking in strange voices, and taking with him as he departed these black tendrils that sapped energy from people. It is only with Dervinche having attempted to cast forth magic is the party starting to have an idea of what was lost in this event. We pick back up now, merely a few moments after the departure of this figure, as guards of the city start rushing into the town square trying to get an idea of what has occurred. Several armored figures start approaching your party, trying to see if you are injured or seeing what's happening, as other figures, they are starting to move to the various different comatose but starting to come to individuals that were left in the crowd, picking them up and moving them assumably to safety. Just one guard approaches your all's grouping. Were any of you injured? Were any of you hit?
Vinci still laying on the ground, just raises his hand.
Very well. Medical team, we have someone over here. Get us a stretcher. How do you feel, sir?
I can
You're one of the
move.
only people. You're one of the only people who's been responsive so far.
It took everything, and I had to keep consciousness. I can move, I can get up, just wanting to continue looking at the sky for a bit longer.
Alright, sir. He looks over and notices Gregory, who is standing but unsteadily. No, have him transported with it.
He's with us.
Alright then. You can come with us whenever we head to the medical team. Since you're one of the only people we have who are conscious right now, we're questioning the other members of the crowd, but clearly you all stuck around for this. What did you see? We were getting a lot of strange reports from people.
Well, I know that they saw a brash idiot thinking he could change something.
You must not be injured if you're willing to be sassy about it.
No, that's him like all the time. Well, when the I forget what specifically is a celestial event. It's like when the moons cross over each other.
Yeah, it's called the radiant moon. It's when the smaller of the two moons goes behind the larger of the two moons.
Okay.
It's actually currently still happening.
Yeah, just right before, the moons crossed and the sky lit up. One of them cracked, and from that crack descended called itself a puppet. It sent out these tendrils, hit people. I mean, just kind of gestured towards Gregory. He got hit by 4. I don't know how he's still standing, other than the fact that he's just a tough sumbitch. Did any of the rest of us see Morrigan about to be hit, or did that happen like
Brimstone
us.
would have seen it because he broke through the crowd as Dravinche did his rush.
Got it. So yeah,
He would have seen like the weird motion that whatever the fuck Dravinche did, you don't even know what it was, where he just
Yeah.
stretched.
Okay, so just basically, Dravince's here, and then he's taking the hit.
Well,
Well,
like I described it in game, it wasn't just that he was in one position and suddenly in another. It's like whenever you see a character doing in between frames in a cartoon, where they just stretch.
Got it.
Dravince's time stop is a little weird.
Right.
It's almost like your brain filled in. He's there, but now he's there. So I'm
And
just
how
going to
did he get this
automatically
way?
fill it in.
Right. Like how your eyes do with a lot of shit. Basically, it's basically like motion blur.
Yeah.
One of them almost hit Morrigan. Just kind of gestures with his head. And then Dravince took it instead.
It's very gallant of you, sir. Alright then. So a masked figure descended from the sky and started attacking people.
Yeah.
Pretty similar to the other reports we're currently getting.
When the pieces align, and the hour is nigh, great crack shall appear within the sky. Creak of bone and flesh were born, with clothes and tattered and porcelain shorn, with strings taut and foretold disaster. Arise the puppet once known as Game Master.
You can't really see the guard's face because they're wearing a full head helm, but there's definitely like a pause.
Suppose Game Master's attacking directly now instead of playing games. Did you get bored?
I got no fucking idea.
All I know is that those were the words said by this being.
Alright then. What were you about to say, ma'am?
I was just gonna say that's what it said as well.
It also talked about abusal of the weave. And that in punishment, he's taking it back. I don't feel a connection to any of the magical items that I have.
Wait. Just kind of points at Morgan.
What?
I don't know specifically. I guess we don't know if these were targeted or if they were just going towards whoever was closest.
You all are adventurers, I'm assuming, just based on your garb and the equipment I can see you're carrying even while at a festival.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does she need a stretcher, by the way? He's looking over at Failsy, who's just holding her stomach while standing, kind of wobbly.
It's okay. I think something I ate a while back is coming back at me again.
Oh, yeah. That too. You're going to vomit that up, and it's going to be very uncomfortable.
Assuming it's reattuning itself because it doesn't really ask permission on attunement.
We'll address that later.
Yeah, so she's unattuned from her slime.
Oh.
Yeah, the slime she sippied.
Yeah.
Considering it was a festival day, it would probably be safe to, like, most people would probably assume ate too much greasy food.
Yeah,
Greasy food, too much alcohol.
So So she's just trying to keep down.
Ah, yes, keep the black ooze inside her. Alright then. Well, it's a lot to take in, but if you all will come with me, we'll head to the medical bay and get you all patched up if you need it. Or at least get you to a place you can rest. There might be someone by later to ask further questions and take your testimonies down. I hope you're willing to help us with that.
We have a carriage nearby, that we have stationed near the meadery. That would be a good place for us to rest.
You're
He
getting
almost looks like
looked
he
at.
wants to speak against you.
Trevencha, you're gonna let the medical team look at you, please.
Unless you want me to be your doctor, go with the actual people that are doctors.
Yeah.
Fine. Morrigan, take a look at your father. I'll be fine for now.
And she'll go over to Gregory.
He's like holding his head slightly as if he was currently suffering from a headache. Well, that could have gone better.
Who would have guessed a fucking puppet would drop from the sky and start doing that shit?
Well, I have to say it's not what I was expecting, but I did tell you I had a bad feeling. I'm glad I was around.
You're always hoping the bad thing that would happen would be somebody just ate too much greasy food and threw up all over themselves.
At the very least, it doesn't seem like anyone was actually injured by this.
Does he still have the black
mean-
veins going across him?
Yeah, you can like see them creeping along his arms. Because where else he was hit is still covered by clothing. It's like on a... You can see like them creeping along the underside of his forearms. And just a little bit coming up the neck.
You say no one got hurt, but you look like you got pretty roughed up by it.
He just looks down. Yeah. I don't know how to describe this. Doesn't feel great, though.
I'd imagine not. You got hit by 4 of them.
Better me than someone else. I don't use magic.
Like, it would be safe to assume her father knows Infernal, correct?
He lived with a tiefling woman for quite a while. He's probably at least vaguely conversational, if not fluent.
Yeah, so just quietly to him in Infernal. Given what you are, though, that still can't be good.
You're not wrong. But still, it's better me than someone else.
Will you please at least let the medical expert look at you?
Yeah, sure. Don't know what they'll be able to do for me, but I'll let them look.
Might have something of the herbal sort to help with the headache if you've got one.
Oh, everything hurts, little Shadow. Everything does. But it's a pain I've felt before. Just not everywhere at once. Hurting laughs to hurt. Hurts to laugh.
Let's go sit down and wait for the medical team then.
Alright. Since the stretcher was already coming over, and it's pretty clear that Gregory is the one in the worst condition among you all, he is the one taken away on it. He's just, as he's like being laid down, he's just like, this is familiar, and just trotted away.
Yeah, after a bit of time, Da Vinci will stand up. And if the guards lead him anywhere, or gesture for them to go anywhere, he'll follow.
At this point, since it seems like you're all well enough to move by yourselves, the guard has informed you where the medical tents for the fair were. Which you kind of already knew where they were. So you're just instructed to head that way as you're able to move. Because there's a lot of people that need to be moved around right now, so if you guys can walk on your own, they're not going to lead you. Just unfortunately.
Does Morgan look between Givenchy and then Brimstone and Felsies? Looks to them. I'm gonna go with him if you two want to go check on Ketsa. I'm pretty sure Lee would have taken her back to the cart.
I mean, probably.
Can do.
I guess I should follow you.
Yeah, let's go.
Alright. So Morgan and Dravinche are heading to the medical tent, whereas everyone else is heading back to the cart.
I don't know where I am.
You are currently at the medical tent.
Am I being checked
Oh.
over?
You're just, because that's where most of the crowd is right now. Is like near the edges of the fair, where some of them still trying to get away from the main thoroughfare, not being aware that the worst of the event has passed.
Mm-hmm.
But things are starting to calm down as guards are actually like making their presence known and quelling people's concerns. And there is definitely like a sense of calmness that comes back over the crowd whenever the moon starts to actually perform the radiance around it, as opposed to where it just was not doing it for some reason. The fact that it starts back up seems to calm a lot of people down, because whatever stopped it from working must be gone if it's working again.
To be honest, I don't think Keta would, at this moment, would be fully mentally enough there to be like, we should go find Brimstone and all.
Yeah. So you would be at the medical tent. Lee essentially takes you there because, again, you were being despondent, so he doesn't know exactly what's wrong. So he's just like, yes, people with medicine and knowledge. This is a good idea.
He's look over a baby. Alright.
So you are there whenever Morgan, Dravinche, and a little ahead of the both of them, Gregory, arrive. We're going to focus on them for the first moment.
Looks like I was wrong of where you take her, Lee, but at least you kept her safe.
Yeah. I was running for a while.
You kept the both of you safe. That's the important thing.
Yeah. Ugh.
What happened after? I know I was there, but I don't. A lot of it was a blur.
Dravencha, you are shown to a medical bed beside where Gregory is.
He'll follow, but he's not. As opposed to normal, he's not very talkative right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what was happening there, but it seemed wrong.
It felt wrong.
It was. Everything was pointed to Game Master coming, and if that's who that was, then he's certainly changed the rules.
He's allowed to.
He severed people's connections to something, I feel. Just
Kent is gonna kind of wander over, and sit by Dravencha.
You're fine. Okay. Don't go too far until we get you the all clear, okay? Just one of the clerics around just says to you as you stand up and leave your bed.
I'm only going to my adventuring party.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with her. Okay, bye-bye.
Vatican, you can come with too. Dravencha.
He'll just turn his head and look at her.
Kind of reaches out and just kind of touches his cheek a little bit. I'm sorry.
He just shakes his head. Don't be.
I know everything must suck, but would you at least like a hug?
He just holds it, one of his hands out open in a non-verbal chur. Non-verbal
gently
go for hug.
Yes. Just gently gives you a little bit of a side hug and just... I don't know if there's much one can do to help, but... I know that sitting with people sometimes helps.
I'll live.
Will you be happy about living on?
Remains to be seen.
Ugh.
Are there divider curtains, or is there just kind of like beds next to each other?
There are divider curtains, though currently this tent is being pushed its capacity a little bit.
You know, I shouldn't be in here. I bet you go to somebody who needs it.
But I'm sure they'll let you go. And she say you're alright. You're talking now, so that's better.
I don't. Something didn't feel right. I don't know. We have Da Vinci to worry about right now.
I'll be fine.
Kid, you can keep telling yourself that.
Oh.
Just Gregory pipes up. As he does have the
Hello.
bed next to Da Vinci.
Hello, sir. Hi.
Hello, little one. He pushes himself up to be in a seated position instead of laying down.
You shouldn't do that.
Oh,
You're gonna
fine.
hurt yourself more.
I'm not hurt. At least not physically, I don't think.
Stubborn as always.
You had to get it from somewhere. You got it from both of us.
It is at times like this I wish I had my mother's powers to help people.
I'm sure it would help, kid, but I think this might be something a little more specific.
You mentioned something about cutting off the weave. Adrian?
That or something. I don't know. It didn't happen to me. It's not my place to talk.
It would also be a question if Morrigan actually knows what the weave is.
She's probably heard it in passing and is just basically assuming she knows right what she's talking about.
Yeah. Because it's a title given to things. It's a title given to magic by studied individuals. But yeah.
Look from Travince to Gregory like, are either of you gonna tell me anything?
I can tell you what I saw, kid, but it's gonna take a minute. But still, though. Travince.
Yes.
Based on what little I've heard from Morrigan already about what you guys have done, I'm sure you'll find a way to fix it.
Vinci will sit up.
If you want it fixed, even.
Whether it gets fixed or not, it's just gonna have just something that going to have to live with.
Well,
Then he looks to Morrigan. No. And I would make the choice again.
If I'd been paying it better attention, you wouldn't have had to make that choice.
The fate is set in stone now. There's no use in blaming yourself.
fate's a weird thing.
It is a fickle thing. It can be
And
changed.
it's nothing set in stone.
Unless one is powerful enough with a certain, I guess, magic to make it not happen. At the moment, it is less set in stone and more, I guess,
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
But
What?
Dravenche, did you always have magic?
Not at liberty to say. Not right now. Just kind of gestures to the fact that there's a crowded tent around them.
That'll
Well,
be a question for later then.
Gregory switches to Infernal. Were you born with it?
Travinci responds with Infernal, just to first. Who told you that I knew?
Well, you gave me a thumbs up whenever me and Morrigan were talking earlier, so I assume that you could understand what was being said. Also, you're from Tezverel. Infernal is the common tongue over there.
Receptive?
I have to be.
No, I was trained.
And he leans back just against the bed frame. Clearly winces a bit. If you had to be trained to use it, then I'm sure there's a way to get it fixed. I don't even know the full extent of what just happened. Ugh.
Even without the magic, you are still good with a sword, Keta says in Infernal.
Yorenchi will pull out a beautifully made golden dagger. Yes. But we don't know what the extent is of what happened.
Well, I'm sure they'll give us a medical report telling us how fucked we are. Until then, let's just try and rest.
I think I still have a few candies left if you would like some.
I'm fine.
Or if not, I think I have a flask of booze somewhere.
Oh, I don't think they'd want me to do that right now.
I was meaning more for him. And she motions towards Dervinche.
Oh, fair enough. All right. I'm just
going to
gonna
return to
lay here
bed.
now.
I should return to my bed before I get yelled at.
You should actually be okay to go. They just put someone else down there.
Oh, good. I don't want to stay here for too long. I don't like it.
We sent
Yeah.
Morgan and Failsy went ahead to the cart, so you might as well catch up with them there.
Not Morgan.
Brimstone.
Morgan's standing right here.
No, sorry, I did mean Brimstone. I was thinking Brimstone. I don't know why my tongue said Morgan.
All tieflings look alike to you now, huh?
No, but revise. So,
Yeah.
he said Brimstone and Failsy went ahead to the cart.
I think we can make it fair, but before I go, and she's gonna stand up and hug Morgan because it looks like she needs it.
This whole time, it looks like she's been holding back tears.
It is okay to cry. Crying is a normal response to stress.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Just you and Lee get back to the cart.
You shouldn't hold it in for too long. It's not healthy. And whatever you feel is good. Here.
Kids, please just
And
you
she's
and Lee
walking.
go back to the cart.
Okay. Let's go. Okay, goodbye. Bye-bye.
Don't pick me up.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye, Jersey.
Bye, Mr. Gregory.
Just wait.
Yeah, they depart for the cart.
Yes. Damn it.
Well, if you need me, I'm going to be laying down. And he pulls the curtain on his bed closed. And you just hear rustling around on the bed. It's like, this is too familiar.
Tell me about it.
Morgan will just sit down on the bed next to Dervinche. Didn't have to do that,
Well-
you know.
On the contrary, I did. And he just kind of leaves that statement as that, unless she responds.
She looks like she wants to say something else, but she's remaining quiet and still doing her best not to cry.
You're always so good at bottling things up. Well, out with it, unless it's something you don't want your father to hear.
I'd rather not. Well, he could hear, yeah.
Can I be moved to a different bed?
I'm
You
trying
just
to
hear
make
him
it to where
say-
we don't have to keep focusing on us so others can have their turn. Damn it!
No, I'm saying it's just like that's would. Unless you want to continue on, that might be a funny way to end the scene off.
Works for me.
All right then. So as that is said, we jump back over to the cart now. As Failsy, you and Brimstone arrive back.
During the
Keto will
walk,
join you shortly.
Fails would be complaining that she feels itchy and has been scratching at her scales, flaking off
Yeah.
some dead skin.
Failsy, don't scratch too hard. Is something
Yes.
wrong?
It's itchy.
Did you get hit too?
Not directly. It hit my wing. But that's a magical construct, so it just exploded.
Like, where do you feel itchy?
Everywhere?
Mm,
I think I'm molting. Why am I molting?
well, you do have scales. And to be fair, if you're anything like me, you would molt. We'll have to get you some nice sand or something to help you get it all off. Oh, it's going to make a mess if you've never molted before. Ugh,
Yeah.
won't deal with it. But you got hit? Can
Yeah.
you still feel your magic?
Little flames just lick across her fingers. Yeah, I can still cast magic. But all my attuned items just seem to not respond to me now, and I think the black ooze wants to come back out.
Yeah, probably.
Speaking of which, Failsy, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
On the wrong page.
Well, get on the right page.
21.
All right, way more than enough. Yeah, you managed to keep it down, and you'll be able to reattune with it. If you had rolled below a 10, you would have upchucked it, and it would have been potentially destroyed.
So I don't think I can eat that off the floor.
No, it
Just
would eat
pukes it-
the floor.
Just pukes it right into the same storm drain she threw Boris's head in.
Well, at least I know it's going to a good cause.
Would that immediately turn into a black pudding? If it
No, it specifically only does that if it consumes the body of its hosts. and it only does that if you die while it's inside you. So if you just
Wow.
vomited it back up, it would just be a bunch of acidic black goo on the floor.
That makes reviving fails if she dies a lot harder.
Yeah, because there would not be a body.
Correct. We'd
Wait.
need a druid.
Need druid.
For
But anyways.
reincarnating.
You manage to keep it down. You feel like, okay, yeah, it'll stay. I'm good. At least on that front.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess there are worse people it could have hit.
I mean, of everyone here, I think Felzy might have been the worst.
Or
Maybe
Keta.
Keta. Yeah.
Or
Maybe-
Morrigan.
I mean, the best one probably would have been me, but I might have lost my arm again.
It's not good for anyone.
No, but
I think I also lost my contract with Chingy,
Mm.
with what?
the Chewinga.
Oh. We'll have to get
The
you a
what?
new whatever that is.
I don't think Brimstone's ever seen it before.
It's a little familiar that helps with magic.
Got it.
Very, very small. Lives in my shoulder pad.
We'll have to see what we can get you next time. At this point, you guys are actually arriving back at the Honeywan meadery. Well, tonight went, frankly, like shit.
Yeah, no fucking kidding.
Still probably not the worst thing I've seen you get yourself into, though, Ferzi.
Just kind of slowly look at Jamel like, excuse me?
It is best not to think about it. The amount of times I have almost seen you die. She just pats Failsy on the head.
I want to say there was only one time, but that's a lie.
That is absolutely a lie.
Failsy, I've almost seen you die, but twice since I started traveling with you. Once to a large pig human, and then once just now where you almost got attacked by a tentacle. That is not belonging to me. But yes.
Right.
To be honest, I don't think it would have killed me, but it would have made me in a very bad mood for a long time.
Not surprising.
Would have made you a less of a direct threat to property, though.
No. Failsy finds ways.
Yes. But at least then, it's not just magic.
Cozy leans over.
This
They once tried keeping me in an anti-magic bubble. They don't keep me in anti-magic bubbles anymore.
just pat, 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 pat. Alright, inside, inside, inside. Mm. You all find Elway just sitting in her chair waiting for you all.
Elway, you would not believe the night we just had.
I don't know. I think she would.
The screaming in the distance would certainly make me privy to the fact that something happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would appear Game Master got bored, doesn't want to play games anymore, and is now just going, I'm taking all your magic, bye.
Well, that's even theorizing it as him and not something that was him, or
I'm just summarizing for
I
brevity.
don't fucking know. Yeah.
It that might be incorrect, but that is what it appeared to be.
Hmm. Brimstone, you've mentioned having many dealings with this figure.
Yeah,
What
but
are
he
your
wasn't so much of a
thoughts?
fucking dick.
Yeah.
Well,
Brimstone, there is definitely a sentence that has been said a few times so far this night that has made you be like, yeah, something's definitely wrong. And that's because this has literally been said a couple of times already in this game. Saying that the rules have changed.
it's
You
like
know, sorry,
no, good.
I was going to say, you know from your previous experience and from what you've experienced from other people who told stories, Game Master does not change his rules.
He's very strict on those, and that's about the only thing he's strict on.
Yes. He gives you the rules the moment he encounters you. He explains the game. And then he follows his rules just as closely as he expects you to. So
I'm
if that
thinking-
thing was Game Master, something happened.
I'm thinking. We as a party are aware that Game Master is like the only Asmar of Magisteria, right?
Yeah, at the very least, Brimstone is aware that that is the full title he gives himself. I
Okay.
think at this point, most everyone is aware because that is how he introduces himself when giving like
Right.
his full title.
Right.
The first and only Azamar of Magisteria.
He's a fucking psychopathic son of a bitch, but when he makes his rules, he sticks to it. He doesn't change them, and somehow they have. I don't know whether it was him doing it or some other force. And he never had a corporeal body, as far as I was aware. He was always just a mask.
Hmm.
And now it looks like he has one. I don't know if it's actually physical, but I guess the tendrils were at least real enough.
I have a partial theory on that. She says, putting Animus on the table. Do you think someone has stolen his his items from the chronometer thingy?
Eh,
I've actually forgotten the name of it.
This is pretty much
No-
the name of it. I don't
Yeah,
think he has the chromometer, but yeah.
it is the chronometer that Entropy has.
Yeah. It's a weird name.
I guess it's possible, but when we took what we did from necessity, it didn't grow in power.
No, but it reverted her back to what she was before she became necessity. Which
Fair.
was a living doll. Do you think he's reverted to the Azamar?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Azamar Reborn and all that.
You're-
I don't know if Game Master has ever been.
You're talking about the other voice?
Yeah. Actually. I guess you might actually know something we don't.
Hmm.
Maybe.
the other one. I have heard you call it a few things now. But Necessity, the one I was with,
Mm-hmm.
at the end, it told me that we would both be gone when you took what you did. But somehow, fate was changed, and I am still here.
Fate was changed. And I guess if fate abides by a certain subset of rules, heretofore the rules have changed.
Could that be the problem?
I mean, it could be, I suppose.
But who changed the rules?
I
I don't know.
I'd assume I changed the rules for necessity, but necessity also told me that the only one who's allowed to tamper with fate is entropy, which is Game Master. So did he change his own rules when someone took his?
Or did you break a rule, and so now he doesn't have to follow them?
It's possible. I mean, if both of you were supposed to disappear wherever you go, but one of you is still here,
Yes.
it would be a violation of the rule. Although when he descended, he said something about abusing the weave, which I know it's some magic bullshit, but that's it.
The
Yeah,
weave is-
Thalesy, as you are an arcane practitioner, the weave is essentially the strings that hold elsewhere to the material plane. It's how magic comes from elsewhere into the material plane.
In simple terms, the weave is magic in general. It's where magic comes from. It's the conduit in which magic flows through to this world.
So I guess that makes sense, like, when it hit your constructed wing, why it just dissolved, and by extent, with minimal contact, it severed all the connection you have to all their magic things.
That would make sense.
Which means Dravinci probably doesn't have the timepiece anymore.
Oh, he's got the timepiece. He's not attuned to it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if you can use any of the fancy shit without, having that connection.
Probably not.
There are some
Good.
theories that even hold that the strings that connect the weave, or that the strings of the weave that connect elsewhere to here, are made via all the individuals of this world that are connected to, well, the cycle of reincarnation.
What?
The weave. Many
Mhm.
believe that what it is, it's the threads your soul follow whenever you pass between elsewhere and here. It's what permits you to use magic, it's what connects you to elsewhere.
So I suppose for the time being, there is no reincarnation for Dravinci and a lot of people that just got hit today.
A lot of people, and I have to wonder how many of them were practitioners of the arcane or whatnot.
That is most troubling.
I mean, Gregory isn't, as far as I'm aware, but he's also a revenant. Which means that if he dies now,
He's probably going to
he's
stay.
probably... Exactly.
If he's a revenant, that would mean that he is currently dying.
Fuck.
The weave is what holds their soul inside their body.
That makes a distressing amount of sense. That means we gotta try to fix this shit quick, but...
And of course, the Revenant, thinking he's invincible, decided to tank every red hood.
I mean... How the fuck could he have known? He didn't... Puppet didn't mention anything about taking your connection to the weave until after people were already well fucking impaled through.
The only reason I know this is because... And she pauses. It's very rare to see Elway visibly hesitate. And her face almost seems to glaze over a bit. I've seen this before.
Hmm?
When my people were attacked, some of them, people I cared for, were like that Gregory fellow. Revenants, as you call them. The people who attacked my home and laid waste to all but myself. To make sure that they passed. They used very ancient magic to sever their ties to the weave. But it was a very drawn-out process.
The fact that he could just do it.
He must be unknowably powerful.
It's entirely possible, even if he has been reincarnated. Maybe this is the destabilization point that brings the first one back. I don't fucking know.
I do not either.
That brings
That's
some-
fucking terrifying.
the people that attacked your home. Was that Aquila?
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
Would Captain and Lee have made it back to the car by this point?
It'd probably be about now that you would be making it back. The medical tents were far closer to your location than the Honeywan meadery was.
Yeah.
So you'd all be coming in about now.
And she just kind of pushes away and then just goes, "Alright, you're here. Hi. Is everyone okay?"
I mean, Bailsy
that's
will
it.
be.
Please no. That's good.
I'll bounce back soon enough.
She'll
That
be
is-
fine.
That is good.
I probably need to give her a dust bath, though. And a hard scrubbing.
Mm.
She's molting.
What is that? Never mind, I don't want to know.
Is that like a
Molting?
stress thing?
It's a thing that you do whenever you have scales or just really tough skin, but you're still growing, but the skin doesn't keep up with you growing. So you just kind of have to grow new skin underneath it and then get rid of the old skin. Like a snake. I've never said snake with Jamel's voice before, and it's very cute.
It is adorable.
You know, what happened seems very out of place.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It just feels wrong. She kind of keeps flicking her hand a little bit and just.
I mean,
If-
yeah.
That was, in fact, Game Master. Then what game is he trying to play?
I don't know if he's even playing a game anymore.
Do you all want to just retroact, like, for the sake of brevity, fill in Keta what was said?
Yeah.
Hearing all that, she just kind of looks at everyone and goes, again, if this is Game Master and we broke a rule, that was a hidden rule. He's stacking the game in his favor for something to happen.
Maybe he didn't even know the rule? Brimstone,
My-
you said that he makes the rules very clear when you meet him. Could that
Yeah.
have been a rule imposed upon him?
And he wouldn't know.
I mean,
Then it,
who would impose a rule on the Azamar of Chaos? Who would have the ability to?
Etta looks at you, Brimstone. I don't know. This seems a little suspicious. Given
Altia.
Ah,
Inside.
shit.
we had the warning from Desus.
Which, by the way, Keta, it's the creepy-eyed doll that just spoke.
Like, her hand just kind of lights up as if she's going to cast magic, and then she kind of forces it down.
Did Altia create necessity, entropy, and I forget the last one?
Memory.
I don't know, but I do know that when I was given over to maintain the tower as a presence, I heard the voice of Altia speak to me.
What did she say?
It was hard to understand, but she told me that I would be filling a purpose that she could not in her current state.
Checks and balances.
To my understanding from everything you all have said in my presence,
If
I
that's the
believe that the items that you are collecting, it would seem, retained some of her power and consciousness.
The intervention was a very perfect target to hit, even unintentionally. Think of it, if Altia gets put back together, she's going to be strong enough, compared to us, to put Game Master in his place.
Maybe.
She's
But
Goddess
will
of
she?
Will she is that's the biggest factor. Even if we put something back together, we don't know if it's going to cooperate. That's how it's been this entire fucking time. No matter
And
what we do,
in
nothing wants to
order,
cooperate.
and in order to put her all back together, we'd have to
kill
take two
somebody.
divine artifacts. We'd have to
kill
take the sun out.
Do you?
Unless we could reforge it.
But we'd have to find a powerful enough forge.
Isn't that Kingfisher Island?
It's an option.
I heard. I'm pretty sure we spotted a forge up there, but we never visited it.
My
Probably where all those constructs are coming from.
I believe Da
Yes.
Vinci has mentioned about it.
my other point to bring up is that this also coincides now with the report you got from Dad.
You didn't
And-
hear that.
Sorry.
No,
That was
But
read
also-
out loud for the sake of the stream. That was not read out loud for anyone else to hear.
Alright. Next that, but this is also two.
This is why I told you to listen to the VOD. It's fine.
This is also a little too close for my own comfort with that thing coming out of the Hellmouth.
I mean, I guess, but I don't think they're.
I don't think they're involved, but this is a lot too. This is a lot of powerful beings making themselves known all at once.
It's a time of upheaval, I guess. I mean, we've got the cult, Fellhaven, and the thing that they took, which is
The thing.
the. I don't.
The title
like
you were
a
told
person.
of it. If you're talking about what was took from Fellhaven, you heard its
Yeah.
title, which was the Mad Titan.
Yeah, it just takes him. Just the Titan, the thing that took you.
I don't remember much about him or it. I don't know. I don't.
I know, but Redemption sent me something today. The military's managed to set up multiple layers of defense on the Wild Continent to try to suppress anything that's in there. And something massive and humanoid blew through 3 of them as if they were not there. The only reason it stopped is because it was commanded. Seemingly.
Do you think Game Master was corrupted?
Maybe. I have no fucking idea.
I bring it up because it's not very similar to what I experienced, but when I had to fight that thing by myself and I expelled the corruption from Grainham, all of it had this kind of black inkiness to it. Like a parasite. So what if a parasite took over Game Master? If one is strong enough to dampen Graham's powers, what if a more intelligent one is gonna amplify Game Masters?
I mean, did the tendrils have that, like, have a similar appearance to them?
They were ghostly in nature. They didn't. Though you tried to strike them with a blade and it felt like it hit purchase, there was something about them that was ethereal.
Okay.
All experience you've had with what you're realizing and sort of just labeling as corruption now, it is a physical substance. It is a thing.
I get the feeling.
I don't think it is. From everything you've described, it's a physical entity, some thing.
I get the feeling if someone corrupted Game Master and amplified him, he'd be playing a very large battle royale game, not a quick attack.
How do
But
you know that this isn't Battle Royale, though?
it
This isn't
makes
just the first
sense for Game Master to have done what he did. He's the Asmar of Magisteria, the god of elsewhere, technically.
I mean, my
If
only
any-
other thought was... Sorry.
If anyone can sever connections, it would be him. It might even
What?
be possible we haven't changed the fucking rules. That
What?
someone else did. Someone abused the weave, and it pissed him off.
What if, in a sense, he's severing the weave to help her in some individuals?
Maybe. Game Master's never really been one to subscribe to an ideology beyond his own. I've
You
seen
don't-
him fuck with the cult as much as he fucked with me.
I mean, think of it. In kind of quick succession, we have to deal with the cult. They stressed out the weave by trying to do whatever they were doing beneath Veilhaven. And whatever they were doing with me, that was obviously magical in nature. They steal the Titan, the Mad Titan away, send that to the Wild Continent. And now things are popping out of the Helmuth. Things are stressing out the weave and coming out, and there's an overload happening. What if we're waiting on the breaking point and then there's just going to be no more magic?
I think
Is that something an Azimar could do?
What if he's no longer an Asmar?
What else would he be?
He's not a god. I think that's what's bigger than an Azimar.
But he's also a first generation Asmar. They're very powerful.
Well, so's your ma, isn't she?
We don't know what Game Master's parentage is. Mom, from what I can know from stories, even before I was born, Mom was fairly powerful, but she was still limited because her mom was a human.
I mean,
Well, I saw him. He looked like a human.
Many things can look like a human, Lee. I mean, you look like an orc.
I am an orc.
yes, Lee. Yes, you are.
point besides.
Well, how do you know he's not just... I don't know. What if he has like a really specific power?
I mean,
Don't Azimar like have really specific powers?
I think some of them can.
Would Keta, how specific would Keta know that the Asmar powers get?
They are like, you would be aware of this because you know of several Azimar. They rule over a concept, like a singular concept.
So, like,
They can
Mom
be
will-
pretty specific. I mean, your mother is the Azmar of spiritual healing.
that's
Basically,
fairly-
the Azimar of emotional health.
yeah. It's,
They can get really specific.
I mean, from my knowledge, they can get as specific to as Mom's, where it is she rules over emotional healing and health, Or you have something as kind of as vague as fertility. It's not really vague, but there's many things that could fall under fertility.
Well, no, because Indra is specifically sexual fertility, like the fertility of breeding. There is an Azamar that you know of, which is specifically the Azamar of agricultural fertility.
Is that one of the uncles?
I believe that's the nudist.
Ah!
Fucking probably.
That makes sense now that he's nude.
Plants don't wear clothes.
So, I mean,
So yeah, it gets real specific, and they domain over that ability.
what is his domain? You have fertility as a broad concept, but then you have my aunt and my uncle, who are both Asmar, and I think both very powerful Asmar in their senses. But one rules over people breeding, and another is plant breeding. So we need to know. Would anybody know of Game Master's concept?
Can I make a history check? Since it's a general magical thing.
What's your bonus to history?
As soon as I find the page.
Like a 3 or a 6, probably.
6.
So
I
pass
will allow you
3.
to roll.
14.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, you don't even know Game Master's name.
In my studies, I don't know.
Wait. Somebody, Tim might know, or he might have a better idea. He's really old.
Maybe.
He's had a lot more time to study this. And
I mean, how are we going to contact him? It's not like we can teleport back to the Bastion.
sending should. No, I don't have sending.
I think maybe it might not be a bad idea if we just let our thoughts settle for maybe a night before trying to, run everywhere again.
Probably.
I mean, I would just like to vote to maybe leave this town soon because I really don't like it. And
I mean, I've still got business here. But yeah. I don't know, Keta. Soon.
Are you required to be here for the business, or are you waiting for something to finish here?
I don't know. I went to check today and I couldn't find them, so.
Well, let's give it one more day and figure out what we got on our plates. We gotta wait for Morgan and Da Vinci to get back. Sorry, I ran too much. I'm burpy. Especially since we need to tell Morgan about her dad. And figure out what we want to do with that.
It'd be up
Because we
to
gotta
her,
do something.
It'd be up to her what she chooses to do, but right now she is not in a very good emotional state.
I know. But it's better that she knows than if she doesn't.
I mean, yeah.
At least if she knows, we can try fixing it.
Well, a short-term option might be to visit that wellspring that's nearby.
Maybe.
I mean, we need to Lee and Madame Elway first.
Also, Magisteria was planning to use that as a signal for an invasion, so maybe they
Hold on. Magisteria?
the cult.
Okay.
There's only one cult. No.
But yeah, they were planning to use that after awakening the wellspring, using whatever, I don't know, I guess an explosion of magic as a signal for an invasion. That's what Boris's instructions were.
Why would the cult want with Drag Empire?
I don't know, this place is full of magic. I think too hard about something and it appears. Levels of magic explosion.
Can we not talk about the cult right this second?
I'm just saying that maybe they've got some materials at the wellspring if they were preparing for something.
It's
Madame
possible.
Ellie, could you help me with my hair braids, please?
What?
Could you help me with my hair braids, please?
She looks at you just blankly for a moment.
I'm gonna
Oh,
step closer just to
Keta.
see if she's okay.
Keta, I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Oh, you good?
A little lost, but I'm still here. Yes, I can help you.
You're right here in the Dark Empire with us.
Yes. That's where I am, okay.
And she kind of, if allowed, she'll kind of guide Madame my way back to her room because she doesn't want to be in the main room
Yeah.
while they're talking about the cult because she needs to cry.
Fair enough. You go off to cry with Elway. And as Brimstone and Failsy continued this discussion with Jamel and Lee,
Yeah, come back.
yeah, we cut back over to the other side. Would be a good opportunity for those not involved with current scenes to take a bio break. So yes, the scene cuts back over to in the tent. At this point, after enough complaining, Gregory has been moved away. Though he does seem to be having some difficulty standing up. Not terribly hard to understand why, given the fact that he is clearly not feeling too well, despite how much he tries to hide it. But
Yes.
you two are alone-ish.
It's Morgan's.
At this point, sorry,
I was
you
gonna say-
continue.
Just as her father's being led away, Morgan just says very quietly, "You really ought to just let them help him and then get a good night's sleep. It'll at least make him feel physically better, I think."
Some. Well, what can I say? Some men are too stubborn to seek help.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Go ahead with what you were going to do before I
No.
said that.
No. You continue.
That was it. It was just her muttering under her breath about, "Let them help you, Dad."
Mm. Well, since now he's a bit out of earshot, you'd certainly have something on your mind.
Now's not the right time for it. Too much happened tonight.
Understandable. Sorry, I'm hearing my cat doing something.
Damn it, interrupted by the kitty.
He muted himself. The cat killed him.
Tally, no!
No, I'm back.
Tally
Yeah.
revived him.
She revived me when she realized that if I'm dead, she won't get any more scritches. Nah. Well, then let me at least start with something. I'm sorry.
I'm the one that should be apologizing. It's because of me not being observant during this. That this happened to you.
Even if you were observant, we saw how fast those things move. You would not have been able to dodge out of the way. Even if I was able to reach you in time to teleport you, I'm not even sure if the spell would go off before one of us was hit.
Given the way that thing was talking, it probably would have not been very pleased had you done that.
Probably not. But I want to say I'm sorry because I got you into that situation. There's only right that I take the hit.
You didn't get me into that. We were planning to attend the Radiant Moon viewing from the beginning of the day, for the beginning of the festival.
Not entirely true. I knew something was going to happen at that time. And yet I chose to keep my mouth silent. Had I instead, I don't know, guided us away from the event, or simply told you, might have been able to avoid this.
People would have gotten hurt regardless. The only different outcome I can see from if you had told me was we might have been able to help more people get away from him. And you wouldn't have gotten hit as a result.
You wouldn't have been in a situation where you would have gotten hit. He just, Dravenche just grips his head. Things just not feel right.
Feels like the rules were changed with him.
don't know much about any rules. When am I going to be checked so I can get out of here?
There were quite a few people hit, so probably lower priority on account of you were able to walk here on your own power.
Your response makes sense. He's not exactly satisfied. If that's the best way I could describe the expression. Yeah. Just hope everyone will be okay.
Yeah. I don't even know what's gonna happen with my father, considering he got hit with 4. He's acting like he's fine, but it's all this
Then go and spend time at his side, not mine.
I will soon enough, but she really looks like she wants to say something, but she is biting her fucking tongue.
Just say it. There's something that's clearly eating at you. We're in the middle of a crowded hospital with everyone talking. One conversation's not going to be too much of notice.
You confuse the hell out of me, Travince.
I'm sorry?
I've been honest with you about how I feel about you. I feel like you keep me at arm's length, but that you want something more than just what we've had, and I don't know how much longer I can take that, okay? Especially with that, just jumping in front of something that could have possibly killed you. Just because you saw it was gonna hit me, what the hell? I don't know if I could have handled it if that had killed you. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad it didn't.
Travince is just kind of taken aback. He sits in silence, not responding, just listening to everything Morgan is saying. Hi. And if it had killed me, I would have been satisfied in that knowing that I protected you. I'm sorry. I want to talk about this with you. I can't get my mind to think straight right now. No, this is a pitiful excuse, but just give me 2 days and I'll have you a response, okay?
Why?
Sorry, was that why or fine?
Her, like, stuttering out her words is...
Okay, continue.
Fine. Like I said, it didn't seem like... I didn't want to say anything because there's... too much going on. Too much... buzzing in the head because of everything. Whoa.
How?
You good, Ash?
Yeah, I think my microphone just messed up because the switch started getting stuck.
Ew.
Like the on and off switch for my microphone got stuck, and I was trying to get it to move, and I guess it was making weird noises.
Fair point.
No worries.
Should be fine now.
Continue, Danny.
I was done. It's just the mic noise kind of distracted me.
Then could you please repeat, because I'm not quite sure I understood what was being said.
She had just said fine, and that,
Okay.
and also that she hadn't wanted to bring it up because of everything that had just happened that night, and it didn't seem like that would have been the right time to do so, because, you know, basically the buzzing in the brain on account of everything that's going on.
Yeah. Thank you for telling me. I appreciate taking the situation to consideration. You'll have an answer. I'm sorry.
Eventually, given what you... I can't help but think the answer is just for me to leave and let you guys go ahead without me.
What?
I feel that I've caused more problems for everyone than I help. Were not for me. If I weren't still with the group, if I had left or gone off to do something else, you wouldn't have gotten hit.
Dravinci.
Someone else had had the vision
Sorry.
about. If someone else had had the vision about Sonata, she would have been saved much sooner than she was. Keta wouldn't have gotten kidnapped. So many people wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Dravinci will pull Morgan into a hug. You not having control of the rest of us is not something to blame yourself. We were delayed because of my actions and the actions of the rest of us. The situation of Elhaven happened because we as a group were played. And I jumped to take that hit. Because I couldn't imagine what the living an outcome where you would have died.
You think I'd want to live with you not there? I'd go on living. I've moved past the point of doing something stupid and harmful to myself like that. If I were to have seen you died in front of me, but do you think I'd want to?
I know that you're strong, and I trusted that you would move on that you would be able to move on. I'm sorry.
She just hugs him back and starts sobbing into him.
Rinche just squeezes her tighter, and tears are streaming down his face. After about 5-10 minutes pass, Rinche loosens his grip. 2 days. Whenever I can get my head around things, give you an answer.
I've waited this long. What's a few more days?
Might I come in?
Rinche kind of snaps himself to attention quickly, tries to clean himself up. Yes.
You see a cleric walking in, seemingly finally here to do your inspection.
This, yes. Thank you for coming by. Morgan, this might. How long would this take?
Just a quick once over. Quick once over of your medical status currently. Though I was told you were one of the people able to actually walk in here. We had a couple others recently come in, so I imagine, medically speaking, you're relatively all right. I'm sure you're aware of the current situation. Yes. I would just need to write your testimony down and make sure that you're physically fine, and then we can release you pending further notice.
Okay. Morgan, you might want to check up on your father.
Yeah.
Do you have someone else in here also affected?
Yes, my father is human man, black hair, gone grey at the temples.
Ah, yes. His condition is currently stable, though he is currently had to be put under a sleeping spell
Figures
due to lack of cooperation.
Figures stubborn old man
Man's-
wouldn't sleep without that.
Seems like you've got two stubborn men in your life.
All right then.
Mm,
Just kind of been standing out here for a minute. I didn't want to interrupt the conversation.
Right, let's get this over with.
Right, I guess I can just ask someone out there where to go for that.
Yes, you can. You can speak to one of the orderlies moving around.
Thank you. And she'll, like, before getting up to go do that, if Dravince's hand is near one of hers, just give it a squeeze and then. Because she's decided to be honest about this, even with just small things. Before she goes, she just kisses Dravince on the forehead and goes to check on her dad.
Alright. That's nice. The doctor just says as Morgan makes her way away. I am terribly sorry to interrupt.
Da Vinci switches to Elvish since it's an elven woman who came in, or elven orderly.
It seems to be a cleric of some sort.
He'll switch to elven. No worries, no worries. Stress of the situation causes all sorts of issues to come up.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call what I saw an issue. Maybe you shouldn't either going forward, though I'm not a relationship counselor. I'm a doctor. But I don't know whatever situation is that you two have going on.
Let's just
But it's
get this
obviously
over
tense.
with.
Of course. Yeah, you essentially get a quick medical examination revealing that you are not physically injured, aside from what appears to be a slight burn where you were struck.
Pierced through my good clothes, too.
No, it's only on the skin. It is not on the clothing.
Huh.
Yes,
Well, at least I can...
we're seeing this a lot with patients. These burn marks.
At least I can walk out of here looking good.
Yes. All right, then. And I'll just need to take your testimonial for what you saw, and I can release you.
And Da Vinci will explain that he drew explain the situation roughly, like he drew his sword to try to cut someone else's tendril, saw the runic enchantments dim when making contact. In his stubbornness and thinking that he could change something, rushed forward above the crowd, and then the whole situation played out, keeping pretty much exactly what happened, just omitting the part of him stopping time in order to to catch the hit.
Yeah, I figured as much. All right then. All right. It's fairly in line with what other people have been reporting, albeit you showed a fair bit more of heroism that we've seen from a lot of other individuals, which we're thankful for, and we're very sorry that the guard was slow to react.
No worries. It gave me enough time to watch the radiant moon.
Yes. This actually has been happened all over the festival, not just in your plaza. Though
As
reports of the actual figure appearing, apparently, only happened on your plaza.
so a whole mask thing appeared, tendrils rained down in multiple locations. It's just ours that had the mask turn into a person?
It would seem to be the case. I believe that it was probably just a case of where the figure descended on your particular plaza, which is unlucky, and I'm sorry that that happened to be how your night went.
It is unfortunate.
But yep, this is all looking in order. And you are physically fine aside from the slight burn, though that should dissipate within a day or two. It's mostly only a raising of the skin. If you feel any other discomfort about it, though, feel free to come to any of our guard stations or any temple in the area, and we'll have it looked at for you.
Have you been doing any evaluations on the person's magical capability of those who have been affected?
That's been one of my colleagues, but if you were a magically inclined individual, I can tell you this right now. It is unfortunately not looking very good.
I'm not magically inclined per se, just more that I have magical equipment that I could feel separated
Then
when the event
yes,
happened.
and it is much the same. I'm still wrapping my head around it a bit because it's a bit beyond my medical expertise. And unfortunately, I could not just call my companion here because they are currently dealing with other cases. But it would seem that something has damaged your connection to magic, is the simplest way I can explain it. And right now, we don't know if there's a way to repair it. But we're looking. Luckily, most individuals that were hit are not of a aggressively arcane persuasion.
I'm mentally more worried about that man that she went out to see.
Yes. She seems troubled.
It's not looking good, is it?
No, it's not.
Will he survive the night?
More than likely. She is a next of kin, and you are her companion? I don't want to make assumptions, but I saw your particular embrace, and I must say it looks a bit like something from a romance novel, so I have to assume.
We have traveled through a number of harrowing experiences.
Oh, you're making it sound more like a romance novel. All right. I'm just trying to poke fun. Bit of
Well,
laughter helps lighten these situations.
Well, I don't think I've read a romance novel where you've been blown up by a powder keg, and the first thing you see upon waking up is her.
You haven't read many romance novels, then.
Well, specify. Blown up by a powder keg.
You haven't read that many. There's a whole subsect of romance novels written by a author who simply goes by the pen name Keg that has a lot of like high seas pirate adventure based romance novels. I'm sorry.
God damn it! I must admit I haven't read anything by that author.
I would recommend it. The writing isn't great, but they're at least entertaining.
But
They're
as you
yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. Yes. A bit more seriously. He appears to have a form of necrosis right now. If nothing is done to check it, and we're not currently sure what the exact cause of it is, his body is going to wither. We're trying to find the cause of it since he seems to be the only person among all of the individuals we've encountered that seems to be affected in this way. I have to assume that there is some other contributing factor in his condition.
all I am aware about his situation is, and it's just suspicion. That man needs magic in his body as soon as possible.
That's very fair, but we don't currently have a way to fix that. If he was magically keeping a disease at bay, then that unfortunately is not something we can expressly help with at this moment. Though we are currently looking into ways to fix it. The progression is slow, though. That's actually who my colleague is currently looking into. Is him. But the progression is slow, though at this rate he probably has 2 weeks before it overtakes him.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I know someone
It
who
might be longer, though. We've not seen this condition yet, and we're just making estimates at this point. It's going slowly. That's what I can tell you right now. And given how much he was resisting us even attempting to put him under bed rest, I would assume that he's probably fairly sturdy of body. So it might even take longer, depending on how well his body can fight off whatever this disease is.
took 4 of those tendrils, though.
We had other
individuals.
We did have other individuals hit by multiple. It doesn't seem like the amount that hits them matters. All other individuals were affected the exact same way. So at the very least, I can
send out some letters.
So at the very least, I can at least alleviate some of your concern. The amount he was hit with is not going to expedite whatever this process is.
Well, that part is good. It's going to be difficult to break the news to her, though.
She is probably currently being told by the arcane practitioner on staff. They were over there, and that's why I'm informing you, because she would currently being informed.
He pauses for a second, with just an expression of lost in thought before pulling himself off the bed and standing. Well,
Right then. Yes, you are dismissed, sir.
good. He's going to grab his things and try to make his way to Gregory's bed.
All right then. Moving the scene over. Morrigan, as you arrive in this other room, there is one particular individual you see in here that stands out, as they are not dressed the same as any of the other standard orderlies or clerics you've seen moving about the area.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually a figure clad in Actually, you would recognize this figure because you saw them earlier. It's that woman wearing the strange kimono and the Oni mask.
Oh. It's you. From the contest earlier today.
I didn't mean to startle you. But I was not expecting any to come in.
That man there's my father, so...
I see. Then it likely best I inform you. Please come sit.
She will do so.
Are you aware of any diseases your father had?
No diseases, but... Considering what happened, even though it may not be my place to say so about him, he's a revenant.
She nods.
You're a doctor, I ought to tell you these things, right?
Arcane practitioner, but yes. You should tell me these things. Interesting. That could be part of the contributing factor of what is going on here.
Has to do with those black veins, doesn't it?
Yes. That is necrosis. Or at the very least, my current estimate is that it is necrosis. His body is currently rejecting attempts to identify the disease, if it even is a disease.
Okay.
Though, all signs are currently pointing that that is likely what it is, and I would inform you that it is fatal.
Fuck.
It is progressing very slowly, though. What you just said has given me a thought, given what I have seen of the other individuals going about here having been affected by this same thing.
What's that?
Are you aware of what the weave is? Or at least have some basic understanding of its arcane principles?
Best I understand, it just has to do with magic.
Not incorrect. The weave is a conduit by which we access the magic from elsewhere. I'm assuming you know of elsewhere.
I've heard about it here and there, yeah.
The weave is considered to be, and under current arcane understandings, also the channel by which souls travel between elsewhere and the material plane. Our world. If he is a revenant, and to my understanding those are individuals who their soul is tied within their body via arcane weaves that they themselves generate. I believe his current condition is contributed via the fact that If his weave was cut like the other individuals, his soul is probably currently trying to leave his body, causing this necrosis to occur. I will say this, though, it is in the very early onset stages. These black veins will fade over the next few days, but the lethargy it causes will not. Within about a week's time, he will start to experience, more than likely, intense bouts of lethargy and muscle cramps and potential partial paralyzation, which will expand over the next week. I've never heard of an individual surviving more than 3 weeks with this condition. I understand. Now, there are ways to deal with it. Not currently under my purview, but some of the larger cities here in the trade capitals would definitely be able to deal with it. Either going to Gladius Towers or directly to the Lotus Citadel would be able to find you individuals who would be able to deal with this. I'm telling you this knowing very well this is a very harsh bit of information to be presented to you, but I wish to present you most clearly with what the current state of the matter is.
Yeah. I would want to get his opinion on things once he wakes up.
Yes. At this current juncture, while he is asleep, the disease should not progress as aggressively. Keep him from performing any sort of strenuous activities. Using up what the energy he has left in his body will cause the disease to progress further and faster. If anything, it would be best, if possible, if he could be not moved and kept in stasis. That would actually buy you the most time. But I understand if you would like to speak with him on the matter and receive his opinions.
It's only right to do so.
Of course. She straightens up a bit, having previously sort of knelt down slightly to be at eye level as you were sitting. At this point, Dravinche, you would be entering the room. Or rather, the pardoned off area.
Yeah, he'll enter the space. So walk up and put a hand on Morrigan's shoulder.
I assume you also have some relation.
To him, no, not really. Only met him just the other day. We've traveled together for practically half the entire known world right now.
Very well. Well, ma'am, if that is what you'd like to do, he will awaken in the morning.
Yeah. Considering what he went through before I was even a thought. I want to tell him what's going on. See what he wants to do.
Very well, ma'am. At this juncture, though, there is not much that can be done. I'd recommend you find your own place of rest. Consider your thoughts, and come here in the morning.
She just nods, doing her best to hold it in, and god damn it, Ash, you made me actually cry above game.
I'm good at that.
Da Vinci will help Morrigan get to her feet, give her a hug, and then kind of guide her out with an arm across her shoulders.
Do you all just want to head back to the cart then?
I mean,
That's where
yeah,
that's where
because
Da Vinci would be going.
Morgan's not one much for talking right now. She's just quietly crying. Pardon me, I need to blow my nose now.
Fair. Alrighty then. You all make your way back to the cart and find the rest of the group decompressing. Lee idly cooking something so as to give you all
Has
a dinner.
Madame Ellie been
for-
just drifting off occasionally?
She's been focused but not speaking. Like she seems to be focused on the motion of her
task.
hands.
Once the two of them arrive, Ketta just gives them a wave. Hi.
Hi.
I
Well,
want a
they gave me...
tissue.
Yes, please.
Sorry?
Do you want a tissue, Morgan?
She just nods.
Ketta hands over the box of tissues that she had between her legs.
You know, just box of Kleenex. Those exist in good old fantasy times.
Box of handkerchiefs.
You know, not like a handkerchief get used multiple times per having it in existence and they have to be washed. You guys have a...
Well,
Yes.
well, at least some bit of good news. I'm given the clean bill of health to go about, to go out and about.
That's good.
Once Morrigan sits down, Da Vinci is going to go over to the workbench. No. And sit down there. Go through some of the papers on that he left on the workbench, as well as pull out the letters he got.
Yeah, that package and the letters that came with it as well.
Yeah. Well, I put these off today, and they can't give me any worse news than the current situation, right?
Da Vinci, that is challenging fate.
Morgan at that point, she just can't take it. She wants to have a cry alone by herself. She's gonna run off to the room that she and Da Vinci share and just kind of hide in there for the time being.
That's fair.
Oh, shit. Huh. There's a conversation that needs to be had.
I think she might know.
Oh.
Sorry, I was just making a joke in poor jest, as I am wont to do.
Yeah.
Da Vinci will first open up the letter of colored paper because it's the noble. it's most likely from noble origin, therefore it takes the most precedence.
Yeah. So do you want to read it out loud for the sake of stream?
Certainly.
And to be known, this is being out loud for the sake of stream, not for the other PCs to hear, correct?
Yes, Da Vinci will first read through it silently.
Alright.
This letter is written with a careful and practiced hand, the text formatted in traditional columns of calligraphy as opposed to modern rows more often used now. Every word written itself is almost akin to a small painting, betraying the effort taken to present this properly before Da Vinci.
Would you like me to read it out loud since you sound like you're stumbling a little bit? No offense.
Certainly. Go ahead and read it.
Okay. A measure not unfamiliar to Da Vinci, as Fuyumi was always more able to express her thoughts through text much more clearly. Greetings, Da Vinci. Even in these uncertain times, I continue to find warmth in the hearth fires of my home away from the constant noise of the citadel, though much of my recent times have been spent confined within these lotus walls. I must heed and request your understanding, for this will be my third attempt to deliver upon you my correspondence. The border has been particularly shut tight to messages and sayings passed beyond it as of late. I know this attempt will reach you, though, as the buzzing network, for as little as I have made use of it due to my normal place of living, has made me aware of your presence in our country once more. To that, I must say that I am pleased. For your wit, though I am sure Kari would rather claim it to be your charm, as she always does, has found you forward once more through adversity. Correspondence will be much more timely based for as long as you remain within our walls. So this matter I can elaborate as needed now. If you are in need of a forge master or forge knowledge, root of discussion Toritetsu or root of moderation Tanzo would likely be those of the council who you may speak to gain a better understanding. Root of expansion Chishiki might also be able to speak on the matter, but even for yourself, an audience might not be easy to obtain. Akari may be able to pull at the proverbial strings for you if you make the request to her, though. She has always had a soft spot for your company. We both await your arrival at the Citadel. Take care on the roads. With warmest welcomes, Fuyumi of the Frozen Valley.
His expression while reading it to first is concerned, but then softens. Well, this is lovely letter to have gotten. Although a bit one point of concern that I feel it's prudent for us all to know. Letters being sent out of the country are currently being stopped at the border.
Oh. Weird.
Weird indeed, and also stops. Also provides an issue for one of my ideas. But for a brief bit of context, this letter was from one of my clients back in the Blossom Kingdom. I have asked her for potentially acquiring us information on certain weapons, since we did not know if we would be able to acquire information about the painter. She's informed me that a couple of the members of the council may have knowledge that we could find of use. How much use it will be versus talking to the painter directly, I cannot say. But I can at least send her a following up letter that can better explain our current situation.
That would be good.
Dorinche will then open up the plain-looking letter.
Alrighty then. The plain-looking letter, the only particular object of interest about it being that it is sealed with a silver wax seal that, on further glance, the way it glints almost makes it not look like wax. As you crack it open, it reads, "Greetings, Stravinche. Forgive my lack of formality addressing you at this point. Your words of introduction are a touch lost in me at this moment due to my thoughts not entirely being my own. I will say that your words do strike a chord of my own personal interest, and I'd like to know of what you think you have found. Those matters are beside the point, though. In as few as words as I can relay, as this conversation is one I would prefer to have in person, despite how much I loathe company. I have had dreams featuring a figure with your name, who I presume to be yourself, with a strange depiction of a metal bird wrapping its wings around you as you stand atop a sea of twisting machinations. You speak in a voice layered twice over, your name, and how you will intend to rebuild something lost to this world. It is strange, and I do not understand it. But once I had seen your letter atop my pile of invitations and commissions, I seized it. And I know that I must speak to you if these dreams are to be quelled. Bring yourself to my estate on the outskirts of the settlement known as the Gladius Tower. The seal of this letter will be enough to inform my gods of your welcome arrival. And do be quick about this. I do not wish to be plagued by these strange visions for much longer. Safe travels. Concerta."
Stravinche, as while reading this, his expression goes from his kind of soft, more enlightened mood to an expression of confusion that persists even as he looks away from the letter.
What?
Sorry. Animus, good news. This letter is from Concerta.
Oh, most
Who?
fortunate.
Yes, she's. Sorry, Geta. Concerta is the creator of Animus and also a apprentice. She was an apprentice of a legendary clockwork maker by the name of Alvis. So I'm trying to track down information about Altea, and pieces of Altea had sent her correspondence after our events at the clock tower.
Wait, you just said Elvis. Wait, why is that name familiar?
Alvis and Pacino worked together. Were two people who worked together to create the clock tower, as well as other mechanical creatures of wondrous design, including, if I recall correctly, that the two of them worked on originally creating Desus.
That's why. So her name is Concerta or Concerta?
Because that is how the word concerta is actually pronounced. It is concerta.
I only asked because Cat does have actual musical knowledge, and that's why she's like, wait a second.
But After my letter to her, she has invited me to attend to her residence in Gladius Tower to discuss about various pieces of the clockwork that I have found to review her own creations and something else bizarre. I'm sure it's going to be nothing, but she apparently heard she's apparently heard my name in a dream, which
Maybe
is
it's a warning.
odd. Maybe it's a warning. Maybe it's something else.
To be fair, at this point, I think people need to be warned about us.
I mean, whenever I get a dream, it's never pleasant at this point.
I'm sorry.
Hmm. But that ends up being another reason for us to go to Gladius Tower, even if it's only a visit for 1 to 2 days.
Any way I can get out of this town and not have to ever come back, at least without reason, I am happy.
We still need to pick up stuff from the Crystal Smith, which should
I
be
know.
finished tomorrow.
I know.
Keta, it's almost like this is your personal Fellhaven.
Ha 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 ha, very funny.
Flashbacks to the time where Fairs was literally having mental breakdowns about having to go to Fellhaven.
Mm. Mm. Unfortunately, you haven't been able to see all of the features this city has to offer, but it is what it is. Mm. And then Da Vinci will pick up the package.
Yes. A small package bound with silk cord. A letter within is signed at the bottom with not only with a familiar set of names, but with 2 pressed kiss marks. The whole package smells faintly of cinnamon and orange blossom. Beyond the letter, the package contains a deep blue silken veil, woven with silver and gold threads forming stars throughout its design, giving the appearance of a moonless night sky. The letter reads thusly. My dearest of students, Da Vinci, it truly has been too long since I have seen you, my boy. I wish the times were not so that I couldn't come to you, but I must keep my place here at home, even in the relative safety that can be managed. I must say that I look forward to all the amazing stories you will share with me on your return, though from the snippets of your letter, I know I will need to be well seated throughout your retelling. I hope this old heart can handle the beat and tempo of your adventures. And of Caleb, he is doing well for himself, though I must say that his focus of dance he had when you first brought him to our halls has waned somewhat. That is not to say that it's a bad thing, though. In turn, he seems to have ignited a passion of his own, born from the other skills you had instructed him in. His weaving and siltwork have become something to behold, to the point where I have already garbed myself in some of his works on my most recent job, and he continues to practice the fine smithing you taught him with all of the same passion I have always seen in your eyes. Oh, how I do wish I could show you them through this letter, so, Da Vinci. He is becoming something grand. I cannot wait for you to see more of his works when you next are able to return to us. I know what you're doing must be important, but there is never any shame in taking some time to return home. Recollect your thoughts and think about your time. I'll always be here to lend you an ear. You are precious to me after all. With all of our love, Miriam and Caleb.
While he reads this letter, he cracks a genuine smile. folds the letter, sets it aside, and takes the silk cord and the silk veil, and he'll put on the veil, draping it over his head, and tie the silk cord around his wrist.
Keta,
Hi.
you're immediately hit with a very strange flash before you. As Dravinche dons this veil, you can't help but see standing in his place, for a second, Desus.
Hector kind of immediately scrambles back kind of into Elway.
Oh, are you alright, child?
Can you just pinch me a little bit? Make sure I'm okay.
She reaches up slowly and just pinches your cheek.
Okay. I'm not seeing things. Okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay.
Is something the matter?
Yeah, it faded just as quickly as you saw it, but it was really weird.
Still doesn't mean that she's not gonna.
I'm just letting you know.
Fine. Givenchy. Fine.
May I roll an insight on this?
Can I roll a deception?
If you're permitting him to roll an insight, however, I will say this: it will be whatever your passive deception would be, because you're not
Alright, so-
hiding the fact that you're reacting.
So that's an 18 then for my passive deception.
All right.
Nope.
I'm gonna say this: you get the sense that there's something there, but you can't tell what it is.
I mean, Keta's been skittish ever since we got her back, so...
It's just odd that she just specifically reacted that way, seemingly towards you.
Okay then.
Keta, do you need to lie down?
I'm fine.
Would you like a biscuit?
No.
Okay. He puts down the tray of fluffy biscuits he was making.
Pulls out her flask and just takes a sip.
Cat's becoming an alcoholic.
Probably. Can anyone blame her?
As Ket is kind of sitting with Madam Elway, if Dravinci didn't want to continue.
No. Da Vinci just sorts the letters in order, and then tries to distract himself by pulling out papers on it that were left on the desk, and pulling out a pen and start working on something.
Nathan.
Ket is kind of just still sitting with Madam Elway and just kind of reaches up and touches her hand and goes, I have a question for you.
Yes?
It's a strange question.
Alright.
She leans down and just kind of whispers. So, leans up rather. Are there courting rituals between Levani?
She tilts her head slowly.
I know that there's the whole you can essentially have another one, but do you ever want to spend time with other Levani? Or Leviathans, technically?
With my children. But no. We do not breed. That is not to say that we are incapable. We simply have no need of it.
Have you ever found somebody that wasn't technically yourself, I guess?
In my younger days, I loved many. I did have quite a few partners.
I mean, you are very pretty.
You flatter me.
I do.
She gets that sort of far off look on her face again.
He is right.
She doesn't react.
Ted kind of reaches up and touches her cheek very gently.
Huh?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I was just thinking.
You know. Can you share it?
She just ruffles your hair. Not with a little one.
She sticks her tongue out before just kind of perking up a little bit. I did get to talk with him about himself.
Yes.
I don't know much of the history with them.
There is much history with them. She just smiles. You know, she still has that very far off look in her eyes, but she's actually responding now.
I know that when Granddad talked about him, there was... I don't know how to describe it, but there was a crinkle to his eyes that my mom gets when she talks about my dad.
I believe that's called love. And that is what I would certainly call their relationship. For what I saw of it. I don't know if I've seen a truer love.
I mean, it is something to be said that even after all this time, he still looks for somebody who's very kind, very gentle.
Yes.
He has a type.
I suppose.
Um,
He's always been a troubled lad.
apparently he's really old. Like, I don't know. She kind of leans in very conspiratorially. I don't know if he's, like, older than you, but he's, like, so old.
He may be.
You know, he was around to meet the champions of himself, which I didn't even know that they were considered his champions.
Yes.
Did you meet them?
I did. I met them. They were impressive for how much of a mess they were. Two
they-
hopelessly in love fools. A woman done with everything.
That
A
sounds like
man far too controlling of fate. And a little pale one with a sweet tooth.
That sounds like me. But I'm not pale.
They were an absolute mess. But they definitely did what they needed to.
The two that were in love, were they good people? Like, would you call them heroes?
I would.
Because my dad's family comes from at least one of them, one of the champions. And I'm not too sure which one is which. It's all confusing. But I saw them in a vision in the mountain, and I didn't get to see much of them, but they look like the people that are written about in my storybooks.
Yes.
To think I'm related to one of them. I hope they'd be proud of me.
Yes. I think they would be. Do you want to know their names?
Can you tell me?
Yes.
Is that against any rules?
I don't believe I've been sworn to secrecy. Thavameth? A curious fellow. Born of small and large.
You have big ears.
Yes. Zurali. Of infernal blood and beautiful voice. I believe in the time of their arrival, in the time that followed. Even Arya the Golden would have maybe been envious. Neri. A powerful druid. One who saw it all. And I can tell you she was very tired of it. Dualis. I believe she was also an infernal, though her form was malleable. Like clay. Sometimes she could be as small as a little pup. Other time like you. Other times tall as a tree.
Yes.
Whatever mood fitted her. And the final. You watch her eyes drift up slowly.
Do they look to who I think they're looking to?
You follow her eye line. And she's looking at Brimstone. Adarax.
I assume that's the one that was
Adaraxis.
controlling.
King of the Hells dethroned. Or so he claimed. All of them were heroes for their own reasons.
I hope that one day I could be as good as a hero as at least one of them. It kind of leans in and whispers a little bit. Maybe not his dad, but you know what I mean.
Hmm.
That would be Brimstone's job of being better than him. Not a high bar to pass, but you know.
It would be a very high bar to pass.
I think he's working his way there. Do you mind if I sleep with you tonight? A lot's happened and I don't sleep well. Please.
I can hold you. At least for a bit.
Yeah. And she just kind of leans herself a little bit against LA. Not too much. She's well aware that LA is still injured, and she's
Yeah.
more so kind of sitting on the floor, just leaning against LA.
And though Elway's voice is always just barely above a whisper, it seems, it still carries. You all heard that. You all watch as Elway just sort of leans her head gently on top of Ketta's as she snuggles in. And there's a weird expression to her eyes.
We all heard what specifically?
All of what she just said. Those names, who they were.
Yeah, Brimstone was probably just like playing with the gun, and then when he heard Atarax, before Atarax, just, and then just staring at her, knowing she's not fucking with him because it's Elway, but not wanting to believe it.
Yeah. And at this point, as she's just sort of leaning her head gently on top of Ketta's, all of you who had turned your attention to hear what she was saying, you just see this very vacant look in her eyes. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Ah, Elway, my heart!
Because it's 11.
No.
11:01 now.
And my character ain't aware because she couldn't handle things and went to hide in her room because, god damn it.
That's fair. No one blames her.
Well,
There's a lot.
to be fair, finding out that the man you're into just basically sacrificed a lot of his ability to save you, and also your dad is dying, like, that's a fucking lot in like an hour.
It's like a major up and a down. You're like, you're not sure how you feel about this guy, but he just basically risked his life to save you, which is like, something's going on there. And then also you heard that your father is diagnosed with a terminal illness, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
A very rapid onset terminal illness.
Yeah,
Well,
and she
potentially one he's had for a long time.
Yeah, and she definitely wants to get his opinion of what to do because it's in her mind it's only right to be like, okay, Dad, this is what's happening. What do you want to do?
Yeah. So yeah, no one can blame Morgan for being a little upsetty right now.
Yeah.
Kidnap, triage into cart, off to Gladys Tower.
Only
option.
if he wants to.
Fair enough. Alrighty then. But yeah, that's it for tonight. Let's wrap this up.
Okay, give me another minute. I need to gather myself because, oh shit.
Fair enough.
Does anybody have anything they want to announce, shout out, or promote?
Hi, me.
Do thing.
Alright, you were actually involved this time. I'll let you go first. I'm joking, obviously. You can still go first.
Hi. You just saw me put on this wonderful performance as Captain, the emotionally damaged warlock. So, I would like to direct you to my friend Luke. He makes stuff on DM's Guild. He has a current homebrew PDF out of essentially constructs and undead. It is wonderful. I love his work so so much. He is also currently working on a Bloodborne-inspired homebrew, which I believe is including monsters and subclasses. And yeah, he does really good homebrew, and I've had him as a DM. He's great. And I believe maybe there might be a homebrew class coming from him soon. I'm not too sure, but check out his stuff on DM's Guild. I believe he goes by Lake Druid as well on DM's Guild, but you can find his DM's Guild through his Twitter. And please support the artists that helped with making the PDF. They are linked, of course, within the DM's Guild information. That's me.
All right, then. Also, again, because the artwork did come up yet again in this session, I'll shout out again my friend Pastel Deity, or Pastel Diamond if you're of age, and you like artwork of raunchy varieties, who did the artwork of the puppet, as they have now been dubbed. Very spooky, very enjoyable. They have a huge range of what they can do with their artwork, from very simple pieces to very nice pieces. Not to say that they're not all nice, but you know what I mean.
Yee.
Find them, follow them, commission them. And they are... they are not coming to my brain how words are spelled.
If I remember rightly, it was the word pastel and deity. All one words, both words spelled how you would expect them to be spelled, and all
Yes.
lowercase.
All lowercase, all one word. I'm just completely brain poopy.
He's late.
Also, I just DM'd. But yes, Pastel Deity. I was getting a Twitter link for them so I can post it in the game chat.
Yee.
There it is.
There we go.
But yes, Pastel Deity, all exactly as you expect it to be spelled, all lowercase. Or Damon, spelled the way it sounds. Daemon. Again, if you're of age.
18
yes.
plus people.
18 plus, don't get artists in trouble. Because it will be them that get in trouble, not you. And it's horrible because of that.
Yee. That is unfortunately the case. But if you're legit 18 or older, good stuff.
Have at it. Smash uglies together as you wish.
What was the Twitter one for the?
I'll say it to you after the game.
Anybody else have anything before I promote the person who did the art that I am adoring of?
No.
Yeah, shoot your shot.
Okay. Well, I'm just promoting again the lovely individual who did the new Morrigan art, and who was kind enough to do so as part of an art trade instead of commission. But that was a special circumstance. Y'all should go commission them. And one moment, I am grabbing said link. Where are they in my DMs? There they be.
There you go, Falsey.
Okay, I'm scrolling up to... Aha! So, if you would like to commission the person who did the lovely illustration of Morrigan, as she is now with her 3 rats she has from my own personal stories I write in a modern setting, their names being Kiwi, Avocado, and Pumpkin, you can commission my good friend Kay at K Murphy Illustration on Instagram. And if for that, you know, getting D&D or just minis in general painted is more your style, Kay does those as well. You can find them for that at Guileless_GoblinCore on Instagram. Sorry, it took me a moment to find the link. Brain a little scattered at the moment. But if there's no other promotion, shout out, or announcements to be had, then I
Not
guess
right now.
I shall go into the
Well-
normal. Oh, go ahead, Andy.
Daylight savings times, people.
Yes,
Keep it in
that's
mind.
Yep.
that's in a couple hours, folks. So if you live listened and you're in an area that observes it, you could get an extra hour of sleep tonight. I sure as hell hope I do. But all that being said, I guess the normal endings feel now.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this and you want to join us next week and see what happens next, you can join us hopefully next week. And if not, you know, just check here every Saturdays at around 8 p.m. EST for the next session of the Scattered Realms. Hey, we're doing better about being on time, guys. That's mostly, I think, me because I'm getting better at my time management. But we're more on time these last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then once everything gets figured out with the schedule, when the schedule's stopping wibbly wobbly, you can start joining us again on Thursdays on this same channel at or around 7 p.m. EST for the return of Project Ada, which unexpectedly went on a hiatus, but you know, life gets in the way of shit.
Complications.
Yeah. We're hoping to have
It's
it.
your fault.
No, it's not. Shut up.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Motherfucker,
I'm
I'm just trying to
joking.
eat.
But yes, we're hoping to have that figured out within the next few weeks or so. So, you know, just check in with us on Thursdays at or around 7 p.m. EST. See if we've got a game going. If not, you know, enjoy the rest of your night on those days. But yeah. For more of this, more of the high fantasy and good god emotional stakes, Saturdays at or around 8 p.m. EST for more Scattered Realms, and check in with us on Thursdays at around 7 p.m. to see if we're doing Ada again yet or not.
Yeah.
And I think with all that said, we should all just say goodnight.
Good
Ah.
night.
And
All right, good night, everybody. We'll see you when we see you next.
Body slam your local government official.
Ah,